Hi everybody, it's me, Jessica Lahore, and you're watching the Love of Colorado Drag series that that I've been doing. Basically, each day I'm trying to put out a new video to support an entertainer in Colorado and describe my first impressions, what I love about them, what I notice on social media if we're not the closest, some of our personal relationship and how much I appreciate them if we have that. I talk about their drag, their looks, how they put themselves out there, whatever. All meant with the best intention, because I think that this needs to be a shared series. I'd love to continue to do it in the next couple months where I get to involve queens that I got to meet from all over the country and stuff like that into it. I just talk. It could know them for a long time, a short amount of time. That could be working in the industry forever. This video could be 1 minute, 20 minutes. Doesn't really matter. I just kind of talk about it because Colorado has such coming to be inclusive, all drag is valid, positive environment, and it does not hurt to put positivity out into the world. Let me just say that. So yeah, I want to move into it. I did say in the previous video that that was number 22, which was actually number 23. So this is the Love of Colorado Drag Series number 24, actually. I have a hard time counting every now and then. And I wanted to do it on someone kind of unexpected, Belle Fegore. Number 24, Belle Fegore. So let's just talk about Belle for a second. Belle, or Sergio, has been in the drag scene for a while as a huge supporter. Sergio would be one of those people that would come to every single show with T. Candy, Aaron, and Eli and just come to support, would be front row, would be cheering, would be loving everything. When I met Sergio, it was throughout Drag Nation. So I never really knew who Sergio was for a long time, but I remember doing meet and greets with Drag Nation, always having to do this for every photo. And that was a really smart idea and a smart branding idea as a fan for drag, because you get to build that relationship simply because you're doing something memorable and recognizable. So that's where it started. As I started to see Sergio out more and more, I actually remember our first full interaction being at Charlie's in the back of the whole bar outside at the patio. I remember talking to him about what he loves about drag, and he was into death metal, and it progressed into, I remember him telling me a story, and I don't know if it was that night or whenever, but it was hysterical, and it's one of my favorite memories. He's like, yeah, I was hooking up with this guy, and midway through, or at some point during the sexual interaction, he was like, do you know Jessica Lahore? And it was just a weird conversation, and I just thought it was hysterical. Ever since then, me and Sergio have kind of built this slow-growing into a blossoming relationship as friends, where we can Snapchat and we can text, and it's not weird. And when he started doing drag, which I'll get to, there was this barrier of how do we interact as both, because there's that professional side and we have that friendship side, and I feel like we're figuring it out slowly. I want it to be more comfortable, but that's okay. So I'm known as Sergio's sex therapist advice guru, whatever. For whatever reason, from that moment, he would always text me about situations. He hasn't in a while, but oh, you can do it. I'm like your sponsor. You don't need Grindr, you can do it. And it's just been a running joke ever since then. It's been a wild ride. So when Sergio was a huge supporter, is still a huge supporter in a different capacity, Sergio transitioned into this, I'm going to start doing drag, okay? Now, I'm going to be completely upfront. This is a different first impression. When supporters move into that drag phase, I always have the questionable activity going on in my brain, and this is just how it is, of why do you want to do drag? Because most of the time when you get to ask these entertainers, these supporters, because I watch it all the time, and I can walk in heels and everything like that. So when Sergio was saying, oh, I'm going to do drag, I was like, oh, great, and we just lost another supporter, and you're going to try and do drag, and you're going to like it, then hate it. And I have to be completely honest, that is a wrong first impression. And you're one of 6 people. I have lists. I tell you, I have lists. One of 6 people to completely flip my mind about how you were approaching the idea of drag. And this is where it flipped. So I saw a lot of photos. I knew that Belle Fegore was becoming a thing. I saw that you wanted to be spooky, demonic, kind of Dragula-esque. I don't like comparing it in that sense, but very alternative, very different, and with teeth and horns and eye makeup and things like that. And that's all that I knew was the social media presence. The time that it flipped, where I was like, wow, you impress me. You don't look like a new entertainer. You You look like you are wanting to do this, like make this a thing. Was at Club Q, School for Girls or Rising Star? Rising Star, I think. The challenge was reveals, something unexpected, and a little bit of hosting. And I remember being a judge, and right, yes, and you came out in that big double sheet. It's like two sheets for a bed sewn together. You looked out coming like a little ghost. I didn't even know there was a reveal. But for a new entertainer to be able to stand in the same place, do something amazingly emotional. I wish I remembered the song, but I remember the performance. Do something amazingly emotional. Somebody that had emotion in every word they lip sync, had every word down, did not deter from the stage, sat in that awkwardness for being so new. I could not look away. I was so impressed. I was beyond impressed. And that was the flip for me of being like, he really wants this. And I kind of have to go back and like support that idea of if you were a supporter, he was there every single time watching drag show. He studied, he learned, he looked at outfits and concepts and lip syncing. He probably found out what he liked and what he didn't like about performers, but he brought it to the stage. Then he takes off this reveal and makes me and everybody else gagged. Beautiful rhinestone purple jumpsuit. Oh my gosh, it was like this perfect mixture of creepy and glamorous at the same time. And right after the show, I was like, I need to know how you made that. I want one made. I am so impressed. Like, I cannot describe to you how much my love for Belle Fegore has gone up. So let's continue moving forward then. What I love about Belle's drag is that it's alternative, it's different, it's something that no one else is doing in the Denver scene, in the Colorado scene, owning it. It's very, very alternative, and I love that. It's grungy, and it's gross sometimes, and it's messy. And I think that I got to see the beauty of that more when you did Weirdo. When you did your illegal alien number, when I got to see videos of it because I wasn't there. When you did your final number where you de-dragged on stage, but you did it how I've never seen it done before. You did it in the sense of like, I'm de-dragging to show emotion, like I'm showing emotion in a different capacity of de-dragging. I'm showing my authentic self from being bullied or from like, these are the hateful words that I've heard, but twisting it. Because when that number's usually done, it's like very intense of being like, yeah, I'm a real man under this, but that wasn't the intent that I got to see in that number. I got to see anger, and I got to see stress, and I got to see like vulnerability of being like, if this is what you think of me, like, fuck this, and just a completely different amount of positive self-destruction. I don't know how else to describe that. And I think that was a memorable performance for me. I love that you have been easy to work with. I love that you are not afraid to reach out for opportunities. I love that you have so far been extremely professional. I think I just said that, but that's okay. I love that you're timely. And I love that, like, when bringing you to Mary's, you're able to chameleon your drag to still be your drag, but be appropriate for venues. Because, let's be real, you can't do stuff like staple yourself at Mary's unless it's a very specific night. But I love where you're going with this. I love that you're doing something different and you're sticking to it. I'm glad that whoever has made comments to you has not gotten you down or deterred you. And I would love to see you, because you've added to my list. You're like one of four people I think would do so incredible in Dragula. So not just because of your style, but because of your mindset, because of your attitude, and because you would be that queen to not be worried about fighting back, not be worried about what other people are saying, but you're also that entertainer that even as a supporter you are willing to help out and be there for other entertainers, and I love that. You're new, and I can't wait to see what else you do in the next year, truly, and compete for Weirdo again. Love you, Belle. Love you, Sergio. Make sure that you follow Sergio on social media when he posts videos and stuff like that. Post comments and love and videos and all kinds of stuff below. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.